Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. So hi, everyone. I'm Amalia. I work in the Regional Consumer Unit at Legal Assistance of Western New York under the EdCap grant. And today we will be going over the latest student loan updates and with some information on public service loan forgiveness. So the agenda today, first we'll go over what LawNY and EdCap is, some updates and general guidance for navigating these times, different repayment options, public service loan forgiveness, and relevant links. And this information is accurate as of today. Things are constantly changing, but everything in this presentation is accurate as of April 1st, 2025. So about LawNY and EdCap. Legal Assistance of Western New York is a member of the EdCap network. EdCap stands for the Education Debt Consumer Assistance Program. It was a program created by the Community Service Society, who is our funder, and it was created to help tackle the student debt crisis in New York State. So we can help people located in New York State. As you see on this map, we're all over the state. Some of our services are we can help people determine their best student loan repayment option. That's probably the main thing that we do. Help people access different loan forgiveness, cancellation, and discharge programs. Apply for consolidation and forbearance. We can assist as advocates to help people resolve issues with loan servicers and lenders. Get out of default so you can prevent some wage garnishments, Social Security offsets, and tax intercepts. And then we also help people understand their financial aid offers and make a plan to go to college so they can have less debt when they graduate. So important updates and general guidance. So lawsuits led by Kansas and Missouri were filed in the spring of 2024, challenging the Biden administration's SAVE plan and related regulations. The SAVE plan was an income-driven repayment plan from the Biden-Harris administration. It was the most affordable income-driven repayment plan for lower to moderate income borrowers. Any single person who made $30,000 or less was eligible for a $0 monthly payment, and the plan had a lot of great benefits. However, unfortunately, a federal appeals court issued an injunction in July of 2024, which blocked the Department of Ed from enrolling borrowers in the SAVE plan or offering forgiveness through that plan until the legal issues are resolved. Last month, the appeals court upheld this injunction and sent the case back to the lower courts for a set of final rulings. We do not know when the decision will be. So what does this mean? So borrowers who were enrolled in the SAVE plan at the time of the first court injunction were placed in a non-interest-bearing forbearance, and they will remain there until the litigation is finished. Time spent in this forbearance will not qualify for any forgiveness. However, the perk of this forbearance is that you do not have to make any payments while you are in it, and interest also does not accrue on your loan while you are in this forbearance, which is great. So recertification guidance. So recertification means that you have to recertify your income for your income-driven repayment plan annually via your most recent tax return or some pay stubs. So recertification, but due to income-driven repayment applications being paused last month, there's been a lot of confusion about this. So recertifications due before February 20th, 2025. If you submitted your recertification application and it was processed before February 20th, 25, there's no impact on you. If you submitted your recertification by February 20th, 2025, but it was not processed, your recertification deadline was extended by 1 year. So that means sometime in 2026. No action is needed. If you did not submit your recertification application by February 20th, 2025, and your date was up, you needed to do it. Your payments were temporarily recalculated without income and family size, and you will need to submit a new IDR recertification application to adjust your payment. So for people whose their recertifications were due on or after February 21st, 2025, recertification is extended by 1 year. No action is required. Your date was pushed back 1 year. Some borrowers may see incorrect payment amounts, and servicers are actively working on corrections. It's really important to monitor your accounts. make sure your loans are in the correct status, payment plan, and the correct payment and payment amount have been applied if you had a recertification deadline during that time. So you probably saw this in the news, student loans to transition to the SBA. The SBA is the Small Business Administration. So the president signed an executive order to dismantle the Department of Ed, sending much of the department's functions back to the states. This was followed by the announcement that the student loan portfolio will be transitioned to the SBA. This is an independent agency tasked with providing counseling and capital to America's small business community. While the administrator of the SBA holds a cabinet level position, this agency is not a department of the federal government. They also announced plans to reduce staff by 43%. So the most important thing to know about this is that the president cannot close the Department of Education without an act of Congress. Some experts are already questioning the legality of this action, and we anticipate lawsuits. This could lead to a lot of uncertainty in the system, but currently the Department of Education is not closed. Navigating the current environment, this is a very important slide. We really recommend that everyone downloads screenshots and saves important documents from your servicer and FSA account. Your FSA account is your studentaid.gov account. That's a database with all of your federal loan information in it. So this includes loan details, IDR plan notifications, and your public service loan forgiveness tracker information from your FSA account. So take screenshots, download documents, save everything for your own records. And we'll be sending out this presentation after, I think we'll probably email it to you. So stay informed for updates on legal developments. You can visit these links. The really important one is the update on the SAVE website. If there's any changes with the SAVE plan, it will be put on that website. So, I mean, I check it every day, but we recommend that people check it frequently, especially if they are in the SAVE forbearance. So current repayment options. So there's typically 3 different strategies. The first is to pay debt in full as quickly as possible. So this strategy is for borrowers with high income who can afford to make these big lump sum payments or pay more than the required amount. You can always have the option to pay more than your payment plan requires you to, regardless of what plan you're in or the amount. The second strategy is for borrowers who are pursuing forgiveness. So public service loan forgiveness or income-driven repayment forgiveness. Pay the minimum amount required, typically in an income-driven repayment plan, and go for this forgiveness. So this is best for borrowers with high balances or low to moderate income. You make the minimum required payment until you are eligible for your loan forgiveness. Making extra payments is not advisable if you expect to get forgiveness. So this strategy, you're paying the minimum amount possible compared to the first strategy where you're aggressively tackling your debt. And the third and most morbid option is to pay the minimum amount required until you pass away. So if paying off your debt or pursuing forgiveness is not a feasible option, pay the minimum amount required until you pass away. This is typically for older borrowers. And federal student loans are dischargeable upon death. This means that your federal student loan balance is not going to go to your spouse, it's not going to go to your children, it's not going to go to your estate. It will be discharged when you pass away. So the income-driven repayment application is available again as of March 26, 2025. However, this is very important. Currently, applications are not being processed at this time. So although the application is up and you can apply, your application is not being processed. We do not know or when we can expect applications to be processed again, and borrowers can no longer apply for the SAVE plan. So choosing the right repayment plan. So traditional repayment plans, these are the standard, extended, and graduated plans. So the pros of these are the more predictable payments, the shorter repayment period, because you're paying a higher amount probably, no annual recertification or income verification. You don't have to submit that recertification application annually like we discussed. And these are best suited for those with the high income relative to their debt. So the first strategy. The cons are the higher monthly payments, which can be very challenging for those with limited income. Limited flexibility in adjusting payments. You have a set payment based on X amount of years that you're going to pay off your loans, and there's no forgiveness through these plans. And then income-driven repayment plans. The SAVE plan is not available, but the current options are the pay-as-you-earn plan, income-based repayment plan, and the income contingent repayment plan. And the pros of these cons are they have affordable payments based on your income and family size, loan forgiveness after 20 to 25 years of payments. They're required for forgiveness programs, and you can adjust these payments when your income changes. So let's say you're paying in an income-driven repayment plan a certain amount, and then you lose your job. You can apply for an income-driven repayment plan based on your new income of $0. And these are best suited for those with the high debt balances and low to moderate income, or for people who are pursuing the forgiveness. So these plans are typically for the people who are pursuing the pay the minimum amount and then go for forgiveness option. And the cons of these are the annual renewal. Again, you have to recertify your income annually. Potential interest accumulation over an extended repayment period. So because you're paying a lower amount, you're not aggressively attacking your loan. Interest is going to be accruing on your loans. And a longer repayment period, extending your time to become debt-free, again, because you're just paying that lower amount compared to the traditional repayment plans. So these are the current IDR plans in a nutshell. The SAVE plan on hold, and you cannot currently apply for it. It's not going to be surviving legal challenges. Borrowers enrolled before July 18th, 2024 are in that non-interest bearing forbearance, and this does not count for forgiveness. So IBR, this is available to borrowers who qualify. You must have direct or FFELP loans. So FFELP loans are an older type of loan that are not available, and IBR is the only income-driven repayment plan available to these people with the FFELP loans. So this calculates payments at 15% of your discretionary income, offers forgiveness after 25 years, and an income test applies. So IBR for new borrowers, so this is for borrowers whose first loans were dispersed on or after July 1st, 2024. You have to have direct loans for IBR for new borrowers. This calculates payments at 10% of your discretionary income, offers forgiveness after 20 years, and it has that same income test. Pay as you earn or payee. You must have loans dispersed prior to October 1st, 2007, and at least one loan dispersed after October 1st, 2011. You must have direct loans for this plan as well. 10% calculates your payment at 10% of your discretionary income, offers forgiveness after 20 years, and this also has an income test. ICR, you must have direct loans. And this is the only income-driven repayment plan available to borrowers with direct consolidation loans that contain Parent Plus loans. So Parent Plus loans are loans that parents or grandparents can take out for their dependent children. And Parent Plus loans, unconsolidated, are not available for any income-driven repayment plan. However, if they are consolidated, they are eligible for this ICR plan. Payments are calculated, and this is typically, from what I've seen with my clients, the most expensive income-driven repayment plan. Payments are calculated at the lesser of 20% of discretionary income, or the payment in a 12-year fixed plan adjusted for income, offers forgiveness after 25 years, and there is no income test. This means that anyone can apply for this plan, although it might not be affordable. I've seen it be more expensive than the standard plan sometimes. And then the revised pay-as-you-earn, which was the plan before the SAVE plan, it is not available to borrowers right now. We don't know the future of this plan. It may be reinstalled after the SAVE litigation. We don't know. You must have direct loans. Payments were calculated at 10% of a discretionary income. And this plan offered forgiveness after 20 years if you had only undergraduate school loans, and 25 years if they had any graduate school loans. So this means that if a person only went to undergrad, only have undergrad loans, they would get forgiveness after 20 years. if they went to grad school and undergrad and consolidated those two loan balances together, that would be 25 years until you're eligible for forgiveness. Spousal income is included in the plan calculation regardless of how taxes were filed, and there was no income test for this plan either, or was. So public service loan forgiveness, something that I myself am going for and a lot of people at nonprofits care about. So the rules, you must make 120 qualifying payments. This is 10 years, 10 times 12. After those 10 years, whatever is remaining on your loan balance is forgiven. A qualifying payment is an on-time payment made in full on or after October 1st, 2007. So unfortunately, any time before October 1st, 2007 does not count. You need to have direct loans. You need to be in an IDR plan or a standard 10-year fixed repayment plan. However, you couldn't be in the standard 10-year fixed repayment plan the whole time because then you would be paying off your loans in those 10 years. So, but it is an eligible plan to make some payments in, while working an average of at least 30 hours per week for one or more qualifying employers. So this is nonprofit or government jobs. Payments do not have to be consecutive. You can take a break, come back. You must meet the employment requirements at the time you submit your application for forgiveness. And this is great because forgiven balances are not taxable at the federal or state level in New York. So PSLF, you make 120 qualifying payments. After those 10 years, you submit your final application by filing an employment certification form. And then you wait and your loans will be forgiven. So the IDR account adjustment. So the IDR account adjustment was a one-time account revision that allowed borrowers to accumulate credit for income-driven repayment forgiveness on a relaxed set of rules. So they were giving people credit for times when they missed payments, times when people made partial payments. IDRF credit on direct loans can be converted to PSLF credit when you verify your employment, your full-time employment, by submitting the PSLF certification form. So unfortunately, all FFEL loans, which I mentioned before, those are these older loans, they needed to be consolidated by June 30th, 2024 in order to get credit for the IDR account adjustment towards public service loan forgiveness. If you currently have FFEL loans, you can still consolidate them. We recommend not consolidating now to become eligible for PSLF, but unfortunately, you won't get any credit for the time that you had those loans and worked. Consolidation rules. So public service loan forgiveness borrowers can consolidate loans and get retroactive credit for PSLF on a weighted average basis. So this example, a borrower has two direct loans, $50,000 each, but one loan has 40 months of qualifying payments for its PSLF, and the other has 60 qualifying payments for PSLF. After this borrower consolidates, they will have one direct consolidation loan of $100,000 with 50 qualifying payments towards PSLF. You need to submit the PSLF certification form to update your qualifying payment count on all your loans before you consolidate. And we do not recommend consolidating right now until the IDR application processing resumes. So again, income-driven repayment applications are not being processed now, so we recommend waiting to consolidate until these applications are being processed again. So the PSLF buyback, this is a new regulation implemented in 2023. It is not part of the current SAVE litigation, but it is not written in the original PSLF law, and this could be rolled back. We do not believe applications are being processed now, but it never hurts. I always tell my clients it never hurts to submit a PSLF application at all. So this buyback allows you to purchase PSLF credit for months spent in a disqualifying status, such as safe forbearance. But it has very specific circumstances. So you must have 120 qualifying months of employment on record. This means that when you log into your studentaid.gov account or FSA account, you see 120 qualifying payments in that account. The months you buy back must bring you to those 120 qualifying payments. You cannot purchase months prior to consolidation or months spent in school deferment, grace period, or default. So no matter what, you'll never get PSLF credit for time, even if you were working full time at a qualifying employer, you will never get credit for time spent in school deferment, grace period, or default. Um, and these payments are based on the payments you are making in an IDR plan prior to entering the disqualifying status and, if applicable, immediately after you exited that disqualifying status. So you can request a buyback at studentaid.gov, and you have to be very specific with your request. We've seen some requests be denied. Specify the months you want to buy back and state it is for the purpose of getting public service loan forgiveness. And this is a very confusing process. So if you do have 120 months of qualifying employment on record, please contact us because it's a pretty confusing application. So current guidance for borrowers who are pursuing public service loan forgiveness. If you are in payee, IBR, or ICR, just continue making payments to accumulate additional PSLF credit. Monitor your IDR recertification date so you are not going to be kicked out of your plan. For borrowers in the SAVE forbearance, current guidance is that unless you're very close to forgiveness, you're almost at that 120 qualifying payments, or you're just absolutely itching to start getting credit for PSLF, we recommend people just stay in the SAVE forbearance, especially because IDR applications are not being processed right now. But if you are close and you really just want to start making progress, you can submit an online or paper IDR application. Expect significant processing delays. Again, we don't know when they're going to start processing these applications again. IBR is recommended based on current information, but if you want to select payee or ICR, you can. Submit a PSLF buyback request if you meet the specific requirements. And if you are eligible and can afford the payments, you can earn credit for PSLF in the standard 10-year fixed repayment plan. However, direct consolidation loans are generally not eligible for this plan, and standard plans with payback periods of longer than 10 years do not qualify. So if you've had your loans for longer than 10 years, you're not eligible for the standard 10-year fixed plan, unfortunately. So continue to file PSLF certification forms. So these forms verify that you've met the employment requirements of PSLF. You have to file one for each qualifying employer you've had since October 1st, 2007. We really recommend that people keep on top of this and file forms annually or whenever you leave your employer. You can use the PSLF help tool. The PSLF help tool is actually extremely easy for people to use. If you do it the electronic way, which is the most efficient way, all you need is your employer identification number, your exact start and end date, and then an email for an employee at your organization who is able to certify your employment. That's typically someone in HR or, yeah, it's typically someone in HR, but I've seen it be different people in different organizations. You can visit studentaid.gov at this link for instructions on how to submit manually signed forms, but we really recommend that people submit it electronically. It's just way easier and the forms get processed way faster. You can expect processing delays, especially when submitting those manual forms. Starting July 2024, your PSLF qualifying payment count is managed directly by the Department of Education. So if you remember back in the day, or especially in 2022 when a lot of people were applying, it was MOHELA who was processing these forms. Now it is directly managed by the Department of Education, not your servicer. So PSLF trackers are now available on the federal student aid account. Access to the tracker can be found on your quick links. And here's an example of what it looks like and where you can find it on the dashboard. And please, if you have qualifying payments, take screenshots, save all your information. Again, we do not know if this information will remain on accounts, and this can be found on your dashboard. Take screenshots. So the executive order on PSLF, President Trump issued an executive order directing the Secretary of Education to redefine which public service agencies qualify for public service loan forgiveness. It seeks to target organizations that violate federal immigration laws, support terrorism, or engage in violent acts against U.S. government policies, engage in child abuse or related activities, aid illegal discrimination, and violate state tort laws like trespassing or vandalism. And most important, this executive order does not eliminate the program or immediately change program requirements. Stay tuned for updates and continue to apply for PSLF and annually submit your employment certification form using the PSLF help tool. And here's our contact information, and we have some links at the end that we'll send out to you. I'll keep this up. And if we want to stop the recording in case people have questions.